Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy. Research methodology we are discussing. In the previous class, I spoke about research design. In research design, very important point I told you how to collect the data. Data collection is two parts, right? So that data collection we are going to talk today. Very important topic. Without this, research is highly impossible. Yes, highly impossible. That much of importance is there for the data collection. Data collection can be in two types. One is primary data collection, secondary data collection. See this board? Collection of data, two types. Primary data, secondary data. What is primary data? What is secondary data? Please listen carefully. Primary data means directly a researcher is collecting data by himself. He is collecting the data. This is original data, not taken from someone. He has put his efforts, time, energy and money for collecting this data, primary data collected by the researcher himself, or he might have appointed somebody else to collect the data, but this is collected by the researcher. Okay, primary data, original data, this is. Whereas secondary data, what is secondary data? Secondary data means this is the secondary information already collected by someone. This information is already collected by someone. That data we are using it. This is not collected by the researcher. Researcher did not collect it. This data is already collected. It is available in internet or through journals, through publications. Somewhere it is available. But what researcher is doing is he is utilizing it. He is making use of this data. That is secondary data. Secondary data is not collected directly. Primary data collected by the researcher. That is why we say it is original data. He spent a lot of efforts, then he will be going for this collection of primary data. Anyway, please remember this for research work. If any researcher is doing his work seriously, primary data, secondary data, both are required. Unless he goes for the primary data, the research cannot be completed. He has to collect some information by himself only. That is primary data. And also whatever data is available, either for research review of literature or any kind of analysis, he has to use the secondary data also. Both the data are required. Anyway, today's class will discuss about only the primary data in depth. What is primary data? Primary data is collected by the researcher by himself for the research work. This is original data and collected by the researcher only, not taken from someone. It is purely the data is from his side only. That is primary data. And how to collect this primary data? There are total different ways. 6 ways are there. First one is through interview, surveys, observations, analysis, questionnaires, schedules. There are total 6 ways are there. Through these 6 ways he can collect the primary data. First method, let us see, interviews. Through interview he can collect the data. Interview. It's very easy, and he can interview someone and who's available and whose opinion is required, whose data is required. So to those people he'll conduct directly the interview. This interview can be of two types. One is personal interview or telephone interview. Personal interview. Most of the time the researchers are taking this personal interview through sending a questionnaire through mail. They prepare a schedule of questionnaire. It contains questions of sometimes 20, 30, 40 like that. So that questionnaire they are sending through the mail, and whoever receives the mail they have to fill up and they have to submit it back. So that is through the questionnaire, personal interview, or directly going to the customer or directly going to the respondent and taking the interview. So this is also another way, through the mail or through personal. Okay. And second thing is the telephone interview. Telephone interview. Telephone interview means he has to collect the data through the telephone. Through the telephone he might collect the data. This is another way, but anyway this is not much popular. The popular is personal only. Telephone is quite expensive as well as time taking also. Personal interviews directly they can send the mail or they can prepare a questionnaire and pass on to the respondents and they'll respond and they'll give it back. Here no time waste and accurate results they'll get it. So this is collecting the primary data through interviews. Second one is the through surveys. Through survey means whenever you want a large quantity of data, large data you want, in such cases you have to go for surveys. I want to do survey of particular area, so which is not possible through the interview. I have to go to the survey, I have to pass on the information, I have to gather the information from many people. So that is possible through the survey. Survey means just observation of that particular area. Say for example, my survey is related to the education system in government schools in Hyderabad. This is my survey. In Hyderabad there are many government schools, each and every school survey, and especially government schools. So this is not so easy. So that is why we say it as a, whenever we want to collect data in a large scale from various people, from various places, from various schools, from various companies, then that is we say it as a survey. Through survey you are collecting the primary data. This is more reliable. When you go through survey, the data whatever you collect, that will be more reliable and accurate, though time taking and energy taking, money is also expensive, but reliable data you will get. Third one is that observations. Observations means here we are not directly taking interview or someone, just through observations we can collect the data. So for this may not be possible only the researcher is doing these observations. Researcher may depend on some experts who are expertise in that particular field, suppose a marketing or any other finance area or any other area he wanted to do research. He is not expert, so he can take the advice, he can consult the right person and their observations he can just note it, he can take those observations. But always remember, through observations when you wanted to collect the data means it is always expensive and also time taking also. Okay. So anyway, this is one of the method to collect the primary data. And fourth one is that analysis. Analysis means the data, somewhat data is collected and the data is analyzed and it is prepared in such a way that it can be understandable, it can be used easily. Raw data collected. Simply if we use the raw data, it won't be much useful. That raw data we have converted in such a way and we have analyzed in such a way that it will be useful for everyone in an easy way. That is, we say it as an analysis. Analysis is another method of collecting the primary data. And fifth one is that questionnaires. Very popular one to collect the primary data. Questionnaire. Most of the time a structured questionnaire is prepared by the researcher. Okay. So that questionnaire he is taking to the observers, to the respondents, and he is collecting the data from those people. Through the questionnaire, whenever you collect the data, that is more accurate and more reliable also. Even I have done my research, MPhil and PhD, through the questionnaire only. Anyway, I have gone for other methods also, but questionnaire is the main method. So through this it's easy to get the data. So this is one way of collecting the primary data. Next one is that schedules. Schedules means here you will be appointing a particular person to collect the primary data. That person we call him as enumerates. We will be appointing enumerates, and we are giving training also to those people. How to collect the data, where to get the data, what is the time limit, and all the expertise techniques, what are the troubles he may face, and making him trained to face the problems. All these things we are training to them, and these people are going to collect the data. That is, we say it as a schedules. Means particular schedules are prepared and given to some enumerates, and they are going to collect the primary data. This is possible where we need large scale of data. Our survey is related to vast and very large. I cannot do by myself, then I can depend on the schedules by the help of the enumerates. Am I clear? So these are the main 6 methods of collecting the primary data. Now once if we collect the primary data, what are the advantages, disadvantages? Simply we'll see advantages of primary data. First thing is that reliability. You have done this research, you have collected the data through any of this method, means this is reliable. Suppose if you are depending on secondary data collected from someone has given, someone has prepared, and that data you are collecting, it may be useful or it may not be useful. Sometimes it may not be relevant to your research, but this one is always useful. Reliability, you can make sure, you can assure that the data is correct. That is, reliability is there in this collection of primary data. In the same way, availability of wide range of techniques. There are different techniques are available. Any of the technique you can use it to collect the primary data. I want to use first method, second method, like what method you want. Ranges different techniques are there. Whatever is useful, you can easily adopt it, use it, and get the result easily. No doubt, no hesitation, and no queries. It's very easy. You have to choose it, that's it. Third one is that addresses specific research issues. Through this primary data, whatever you want, you are collecting the data, right? So that data is in such a position that if you have any kind of specific problems, research issues, if you have anything, that will address, that will give you solution. Means you have planned everything in such a way that data is relevant to your information. Any problem, this data is going to solve. This data is going to indicate the right way. It will solve the problem. So that is the one of the advantage of collecting the primary data. Fourth one is that greater control. You are collecting the data. How to collect, where to collect, so that everything is, so control is automatically, it's in your hands only. There is no question of manipulation. There is no question of errors or frauds. All these things are not possible. That is why it's reliable data, and you can say it as there is a control. You have a greater control over this collection of the data. Next one is that efficient spending of information. Data collected. So this data, how to use it? Raw data we are making into analysis. So the efficient usage, how do you want to analyze it? So that usage also, it will be very easy for you. How do you want to use it? In the same passion, in the same requirement, you will be analyzing the data. So proper utilization will be there. Suppose somebody has given some information, you may confuse that how to use it, how to go ahead, how to analyze the data. So all these things, there will be confusion, but when you have collected data, you know that how to analyze it, how to make the optimum utilization, and how to use it. All these things you will be knowing it. So that is why we can say it as efficient spending for information. In the same way, last one is that proprietary information. Proprietary information means related to the content information you will find. Proprietary means the main person, who is the main key person of this research. Whatever he want information, that you can get it through the primary data. So proper information you will get, proprietary information, main information, the key information you will be getting through this primary data. There is no question of collecting some other data and which is irrelevant and collected, and all these things are not going to happen, because you have very good idea. That is why you are collecting the data, what is required, what is related to the research, that data only you are going to collect it. So these are the main advantages of collecting the primary data. In the same way, there are few disadvantages. In the disadvantages, first one is, you can say it as expensive, because primary data you are directly involved and you are collecting the data. Definitely it is expensive. Directly you are involving, you are receiving, you are reaching the people, or you are preparing the questionnaire, or you are directly involved. So definitely it is much expensive compared to the secondary data. Secondary data is readily available. Someone prepared, get the information and decode it or analyze it and then present it. But here you are directly doing it, so always expensive and also time taking, time consuming also. It will take time. So easily you can't get the data, right? So particular period or time, say 1 year, 2 years, some information, gathering information, it will take some time. Only very few cases, quickly if you take action, then it is possible to take the data. Do you know that for my PhD I have taken this data by using primary data, preparing the questionnaire and all this thing, just 6 months. In 6 months I have collected the data. Continuously, vigorously I was behind the respondents and collected that. That is very rare case. Generally people will take lot of time. That is why we say it as a time consuming it is. In the same way, not always feasible. Data is collected. It does not mean that it is going to work out all the time. Sometimes it may not be feasible. When it is not feasible, when you don't have proper understanding, when your method is not proper, when your way of collecting data is not proper, then it won't be feasible. This is one of the drawback or disadvantage. In the same way, long volume of data is very long, and decoding, analyzing, lot of time it will take. So this is very long. In the same way, reluctancy of respondents, very important disadvantage. When you reach the respondents for collection of data, they won't respond much unless they are familiar to you, they understand you very well, and they have some respect on you, a good relation between you and them, then only it is possible to take positive and proper response from the respondents. Otherwise they always show the reluctancy. Why to do? Why you are wasting my time? What is the need of doing all this research? You may be doing, why should I waste my time? So that will be the attitude of all the respondents. So that is why this you will find. When reluctancy is there from the respondent's point of view, data what you have collected, primary data, it won't give you, it won't reflect proper results. Data is there but proper results you won't get it, because the respondents did not respond properly. They have shown the negligence. They were reluctant to give the information. That is why this is one of the disadvantage. Am I clear about the primary data? Next class we will discuss secondary data. First take the screenshot. Interesting, na? Secondary data also very interesting. Stay connected. In the next class only I am going to cover the secondary data. Because these topics are a little bit slowly, I have to go, and you need to spend a little bit of time to understand. It's not like statistics or business law or accountancy or studied okay over. No, you have to understand, then only proper results, proper inside matter it goes inside, otherwise no use. Stay connected, check out the playlist. There are many subjects already prepared by taking lot of time and energy, especially for all the student community, at the rate free of cost. Don't forget to share and do subscribe to our channel. Just promote our channel. It's in your hands. Take care, study throughout the year, and before exams revise it. Follow this principle. Good luck.